This just keeps getting better and better.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Now, as most of you know, I'm not huge on reaction content, maybe one video a week, but it is pretty random. And normally it's because my community sends me a video over and over again. Raxx made a video, The State of Last Epoch Cycle 1-1, and I planned on watching it anyway, so we might as well just watch it together and see what he has to say. I have not seen a second of this video, so I don't know if it's positive or negative. So let's check it out.
Hi everyone, it's Raxx. I make a video every single season for Diablo 4 called The State of Diablo, where I go through all the things that I really like and all the things that I wish would improve for the game. And I thought, why not do this for... Oh, hello, Callie. Can you see Callie? I thought, why not also do this for Last Epoch?
Nice.
So why don't we go through all the great things that have come out in the next cycle and things that we can hopefully look forward to in the future. Hi, Callie. Can I make my video? Yeah, I'll play with you after. Okay, she's just gonna hang on to me. All right, let's start with the good things. So first of all, I absolutely love the evade. Maybe it's a little bit clunky, whatever. Maybe they can clean that up a little bit. But in general, having the evade, especially playing on my super slow-ass totem shaman where I don't have a teleport unless I get a special ring, it's great. I love that they added that. I absolutely love the ladder. I mean, have you guys seen the leveling ladder for hardcore? Have you seen how many people died? It's just Swiss cheese. Dead, 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 dead. Everybody. Look how many people died in a row. Look how many are dead. It's crazy. I'm on my 4th character right now, so I thought the ladder was a ton of fun. A super awesome addition. The server stability is better. There are still performance issues for a lot of people, but compared to how the servers were on fire for a week straight on the launch, that's nice. The Harbingers are nice.
I want to stop right there. I have played every update for the last 5 years. Unequivocally the best server performance. Just like Raxx said, obviously not perfect. And there was this little hiccup the first 30 minutes when it was supposed to drop. But as far as game being playable, drops, Ellie61, shout out to my boy Muffin. You and your team did an absolutely amazing job. Nice job.
Pinnacle boss is really nice. The Pinnacle boss killed tons of people in hardcore and absolutely farming everybody. The new faction is nice that's tied to the Harbingers and the Pinnacle boss, and they also made some updates to the COF and the Merchants Guild. Some of them, there's the bugs with a few of them, but in general, the updates are better. The Nemesis system is really nice. If you don't know about it, there's little like challenging people that you can fight or banish, and you can put your own items in there and upgrade them and get some really cool stuff. It's improved my gear a lot. I've been using it a lot, and I like it the more that I keep using it.
I have played Cycle 2, Update 1.1. over 70 hours in the first 6 days. We did a 48-hour stream, and talking to the community, talking to the thousands of people that have come by. So far, the Nemesis system is most people's favorite. That's why you kind of hear reports. People are already trying to figure out ways to pull the Nemesis all the time by abusing the campaign and different things like that. People love the egg. They love what the Nemesis system spits out.
They nerfed Ward. Used to be able to get like 60,000 Ward. That was a really good nerf. It was ruining the game.
Yep.
Alt leveling is a lot better. The Glyph of Envy lets you pretty much skip an entire mono, and they let you skip 2 of the monos essentially for free. You used to have to do 3 of the 90 ones. Now you only have to do 1 of them. That's nice. Again, the item faction changes along with adding the new faction are better. Class and skill balancing is better than it ever has been. Could obviously always improve, but it's getting better. The monster balancing, they nerfed some of the most deadly monsters. There's still some that are crazy that we'll talk about. But for example, they nerfed the Tundra Stalkers, which is nice, but that didn't stop me from dying to them anyway. I didn't know they were dangerous. They made some loot filter updates, like you can filter on multiple affixes and you can filter on legendary potential. Those are nice, but I have a ton of additional ideas to make it even better. The Gaze of Oreos changes. I don't know what the real name of it is. I call them Oreos. That's nice. The blessing inventory is
Gaze of Orabis. Oreos works.
Better in letting you keep like your highest rolled ones, the little blessing bank. We already talked about alt leveling. Don't know why it's here twice. They added 30 new uniques, and of course they fixed a bunch of bugs. In general, it feels like a much better game. This was a really good patch for EHG. Now let's talk about some things that they could do better. So Ward versus the other defenses. So first of all, we already said that they nerfed Ward, and that was good. And it's like the scaling higher than 4,000 Ward is going to be much harder to retain to try to bring it in line. And they nerfed it, and it did do that. It's more balanced from some of the other defenses like health and armor and endurance. But I still think, and a lot of others still feel, that Ward is still pretty far ahead. It's just way easier to build Ward. It's way easier to acquire it and retain it. When you're trying to build health, you have to get plus health, percent health, hybrid health, endurance percent, endurance threshold, additional armor, armor percent. It's very, very challenging. Maybe in the super end game with perfect gear, maybe it starts to catch up. But for 99% of people, Ward is the much better option. And so since so many people died in the hardcore ladder, you could think of it two ways. First of all, you could just nerf Ward again, and that is a viable option. But since so many people were dying, unless EHG is planning for another difficulty tuning, the better idea might be to make health and endurance and armor more lucrative, to bring it up to where Ward is, because again, everybody's dying. And when you say buff, there's a million different ways that they can do this, and they understand this. You don't just have to give us more health, give us more endurance. It's not just about getting more of these stats. It could just be easier to acquire it. It's easier to hit your endurance cap. It's easier to raise your endurance threshold. Maybe you give a little bit more health, I don't know, when you level up or something, or in the passive points. They can fix it any way that they want. Ward still seems like the much better option than health and endurance.
Okay, he's absolutely right. And the reason for that is that a lot of people are playing mana stacking. Mana stacking, mana stacking. That's all you hear for Cycle 2. And if you are playing a mage, normally your main stat is what? Intelligence. And what does intelligence do? Intelligence gives you ward retention. So the stat that buffs your character directly buffs your defense as well. And I think that might be where they can lean into it. If I'm a strength build, maybe strength does something for endurance or endurance threshold or life, or you know what I'm saying? Like intelligence has this weird stat where you can get a ton of intelligence, and not only does it make you stronger, it gives you tons of defensive layers as well. He is absolutely right that, in my opinion, it's very rewarding going health and endurance. And something new that I am working on is actually regen, and your life bounces up as fast as Ward. It's a lot of fun, but obviously it requires a lot more time.
Currently. And another thing, while we're talking about defenses, people have complained a lot that dot damage is very hard to build against, and the spires are literally sniping us all the way across the screen. I got sniped by it while I was reading the Nemesis window.
I don't know if I agree with that. I was watching some members of my community, and obviously the first world boss kill, and most people are using damage over time. Bleed specifically is doing very well this cycle.
Still have to mention that there are performance issues. Every day in my stream, there are people that are saying they're chain crashing or whatever. They can't connect to the correct monitor, this and that. Just continue to file those bug reports. Tell them what's going wrong, da-da-da-da-da. But we need to say that fixing some of these performance issues is still important. Another general thing that I've asked a lot of the top players. By the way, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. Now that I remember, I'm going to mention it now. My stream helped me with this list. Should have said it at the beginning. Thank you to all the people that were in the stream helping me come up with this list. I didn't come up with it on my own. We were talking to a lot of different people here. Anyway, along those lines, most people feel that caster builds seem to really outclass melee. There are some good melee builds like Rive Void Knight. I think there might be like a Shield Bash or something, Forge Guard build. I don't know. I haven't played it. But in general, caster builds seem to be ruling right now, and that might be something that EHG wants to balance in the future. Okay, so let's talk about loot filters. There's a lot of ways we can make this better. So first of all, we can't filter on the affix values on idols. And the reason why we can't filter on affix values is because affixes on idols don't have tiers, and the loot filter only lets you filter on tiers of something. So there's, again, like with most things, there's multiple ways to solve this. You could give the idols, the affix ranges on the idols tiers, so you could filter by it. Or you could just filter by the actual affix number on the idols. And you would only have to build it for idols because you don't really need it for...
That's a fantastic idea.
For the other items, because they do have tiers that you can filter on. And there might be other ways to solve it, but I can't identify a super godly idol because I can't filter in this way. That would help. You can filter on the implicits by picking the item base, but you can't filter on the implicit values if that's super important to you. You can't filter on foraging potential, and you can't filter on COF rank, and this might actually matter, for example, if you're using a Rune of Ascendance and you need the COF rank in order to get your Runes of Ascendance back. Well, how are you going to find that? Well, you're going to search through your stash and manually look for every single item to see if it has a COF rank. So that would be nice to put on the loot filter as well. Another thing for the loot filter, it is very awesome that we have legendary potential for unique items. The problem is we would need like an actual bank of the unique item names to make a super good filter. That way we could say, oh, these are leveling unique, so we want this much LP if it's good. This is a super endgame unique, so even if it has 0 LP, this is a godly drop. So if they would put the, if you could filter off of the unique name, that would be a big improvement. We could make the loot filter a lot better. Another thing is you can't adjust the beams. You can't adjust the minimap icons for your rules. If we could customize that, that would be a huge improvement. There's no sound cues on the drops. This is super important in PoE. You hear that bang or whatever, and you know something godly is on the ground. It's also good for accessibility.
I believe sound cues are coming. The community has asked the ability to put in their own sounds. That's not coming, but I'm pretty sure they are going to be sound cues.
Another thing is your loot filter is saved locally and not to the cloud. So if you change computers, you essentially lose it. It would be so nice if it could remember our loot filter for us. Here's something that Path of Exile just fixed, their pickup radius. So I've been playing a lot of the different ARPGs lately, and one thing I've noticed that's different about PoE and Last Epoch versus Diablo 4 and Torchlight is Diablo 4 will give you like a little bit of room to pick up your item. So if you're all the way across the room and you click it, you don't have to go right on top of the item before it actually picks it up. There's a little bit of a grace period. It feels good, so you can just keep on zooming. And Torchlight's very good for this as well. But PoE and Last Epoch, you literally have to be standing on top of the item to pick it up. It's pretty brutal, actually. And it kind of like disrupts your flow. PoE, I heard, just changed this. In their next league, they are dramatically increasing the distance from which you can pick up items. I would love for EHG to do the same thing. It would actually feel a lot, it would be noticeable if they did that. Stash tab improvements. I had someone come into my stream and say, okay, when I start up Last Epoch and I start a new season, I have to rebuild my entire hierarchy for how my items go into the stash. I've got to recolor them, rename them, build the new tabs, this or that or this or that.
This is a huge complaint. Oh, I hear this all the time.
And they find it very demoralizing. So someone actually just straight up quit, that he had to rebuild the whole thing. So if there was a way for Last Epoch to save our template for how we did it, like, oh, season start, pay 10,000 gold, unlock the first 10 tabs or whatever, and it just automatically builds a little template that you have, that would be incredible. So that would be
that was something that was brought up prior to even Cycle 1 game launch, that people were saying it would be awesome that your layout is there, but the gold to unlock them is still, you still have to pay the gold. So at least You don't have to reset it up every single cycle. They should absolutely do that. That has been feedback since before the game launched.
A big value add that they can consider. Another thing is we need an option to search through the tooltips or not. All right, so watch this. Okay, if I go here and I go to my idols, for example, let's go here. If I search for the word physical, look at this, armor and health. But I searched for physical. Why is this happening? Well, if you hold Alt, in the tooltip of armor, it says more effective against physical damage. Have you ever wondered why that happens? Why you type the word physical and it shows you something that doesn't have physical damage or physical res? It's because it also searches through the mod explanations. Did a poll in chat. Do you guys want it to also read the tooltips or not, or just what's on the screen? Almost everybody said, no, don't search through the explanations as well. But some people said it is nice. So I think the best course of action here is go into the settings, make it an option. Do you want your search to also look through the tooltips? Yes or no? I don't want it to look through the tooltips, so I would disable that. But that would be a huge improvement because I can't
I'd also disable it.
Tell you how annoying it is to type physical and then you get something that has nothing physical on it. Another thing that would be really nice is affinities. Affinities are something in Path of Exile. The way that this works is...
I also didn't realize this is such a long video. That's okay, though. This is good stuff.
You would say, okay, anytime I get an Exalt and it's a sword, I want you to put it in this tab, E8. You would rename it Swords. And then when you would shift right click to move it over, it would automatically throw it into the right tab. The affinity. Exalted swords go into this tab. So that
is the only reason, and of course they are paid tabs too in PoE. That is the only reason I still claim that Path of Exile's tabs are better than Last Epoch. Last Epoch obviously has an awesome inventory and stash system, but they don't have affinities, which Path of Exile, of course, does.
Would be a big value add if they could build that in. I've never played the Merchant's Guild, but a lot of people said there's ways that you can improve the market searching. I didn't really understand their suggestions, if I'm being completely honest, but maybe some people can type it down in the comments below.
Everybody wants the ability to go to one singular vendor. That's what I see over and over again. Half my characters are Merchant's Guild, half of them are COF. And basically, like, you need a sword, you got to go to the sword vendor. It would just be so nice to update the entire search where you can go to a singular person.
If you do Merchant's Guild, what you would like there. Improved social features. It wasn't too long ago that multiplayer really didn't even work for Last Epoch. So they're still trying to fix that. I understand that. But it's really, I mean, honestly, if I mean, it's not really very good in any of the ARPGs right now. But it really kind of feels like you're just kind of out on your own in the void, playing by yourself. And some people really miss playing with other peoples and interacting with them better. So any way they can improve the social features would be huge.
So I've been getting this a lot too. This is just going to be a long video, which is fine. Raxx, this is great so far. I will link the whole video in the description as well. They've talked about guilds. I believe Last Epoch is going to call them clans. And they've said they just don't want to throw out a clan and basically you've got like a shared stash and a way to chat. They want to do something value added. They want to do something that's a little bigger than that. I actually think that's probably wrong. It should probably start as a clan is with your friends. It's a meetup point. It's an ability to communicate. I actually think they should probably start it small and then add in more features to it. More people have been asking, man, I just wish I had a clan where I can communicate with my friends. They should probably do that.
The monolith landing area, if you could customize it with like cosmetics, or you could move the stupid treasure chest that's way over to the right and move it closer and move the portal closer and just, I don't know, do anything with it, that would be very cool. And that's what they do with hideouts in PoE.
Gosh, I feel terrible. I hate pausing them every 3 seconds. This is something that's been asked of EHG for years. And it is, in my opinion, a gold mine. A gold mine. Literally, if they sold, they could sell MTX as that end of the world area is your spot where you can move stuff, you can add cosmetics, you could put in torches, you could all kinds of custom stuff, they would sell so much MTX. It would be glorious. 100% agree.
Love it if you could customize that. Some people said whenever they see rings, it's really annoying that they can't compare against both at the same time. You could make the ladders better. You could have a pinnacle boss ladder, especially for hardcore. Who was the first person to kill Aberoth? It was Sistarix, but I mean, there's no way to know that, right? It was Sistarix. Congrats to him. And right after him was Woody.
I believe they are going to add in a ton of new ladders. So the fact he really enjoyed, obviously, the level ladder. You're going to see more and more levels, potentially corruption, potentially pinnacle boss. You're going to see a lot more of this in the future.
Impressive. Then it would be nice to see a corruption ladder. Who has the highest corruption? Season start announcements. I love these in PoE. I love it when it says Tai Killer is level 80, first player to hit 80, and I'm like level 12. I love that. That would be super cool. Another thing that killed both me and Zizarin within 1 day of each other. When you're in a monolith and you're running around, and you're on the Nemesis system, you're like, oh, okay, cool, Nemesis system. And you bring up the window to read it, everything can still attack you. Just fine, you like clear out the room, that's obvious, and you go back and read it, and then the spire shoots you and kills you. And so, yes, you can certainly outskill this. You can just full clear the map and then run on.
This was brought up during the last dev stream on Friday with senior developer Mike. They said there is currently they're not going to pause anything. You're just going to have to deal with it.
All the way back to the beginning and do the event or whatever. But that's stupid. I don't want to have to just backtrack because there's a spire in my map. So yes, I understand that you can play around it, but I still think it's dumb that if you want us to interact with something, read it, think about it, and make some decisions, I think we got two options here. One, pause the game. I think Ultimatum does that for PoE. Just pause the game. Like, let me read my window. Or you could just make me invulnerable while I have the window open, or I don't know, anything. But please, if I'm trying to engage with the content that you've made, don't make me full clear the echo and then walk back and talk to it. Give me a little bit of a grace period. Wouldn't that be nice? Thank you. So cursor options. We don't have any. Can't recolor them, can't resize them. You just get the default last epoch cursor. I would love to change it. That would be awesome if we can implement that.
Something they've been asked about too for years. They're working on it. They say it's a lot harder than you might think. I've just used YOLO mouse for years, but again, you shouldn't need third party. Agreed.
Okay, here's another one. Seasonal announcements. EHG did a very nice job with this. The patch for the blog post for the patch notes is excellent. Love the table of contents. I love the video. I watched it. Everything was good. There were so many people that didn't even know that the announcements were coming. I didn't know until the day they were uploaded. Now, someone could make the argument, well, that's great, Raxx, because then when you actually get the announcement, it's not an announcement of an announcement, and instead you just get all the content when it comes out. And then some people will say, well, Raxx, you were just too busy playing Diablo 4. They did announce it on their Twitter. They did announce it on their Discord. You just missed it all. Okay, so all that is fair. Here's how I would respond to that. I'm trying to help EHG. I want to help you. I want you to have 1 trillion players. I want you to make $1 billion, right? I'm telling you that no matter what you did, I had no idea that this was coming. And I know a lot of people didn't. And I'm telling you, this week when I streamed the start of the cycle, I had so many people come into my stream say, Raxx, why are you playing Last Epoch? I said, well, the cycle just started. Let's go. And they go, really? I had no idea. So I'm not denying that they didn't do things. I know that they did things. But I'm saying a lot of them weren't heard by a huge portion of the player base. So we need to rethink this We need to do everything that we possibly can to make sure everybody knows when there's going to be a big last Epoch announcement and a new season.
I'm going to stop Raxx right there. If there is one thing, in my opinion, the most important thing Raxx has brought up in this entire video, it is this. I cover everything on the Discord. Every piece of news they drop, the lore events, the updates, I cover every Friday live stream. Being a smaller creator, I do everything in my power to shout from the rooftops that the new cycle is coming. And still, hundreds and hundreds of people. Oh, is there anything new going on in Last Epoch? What is happening? And yes, of course, the marketing has changed around the cycle. For years, they've always done Hype Week, which is once a day, they drop something new for what is coming, and it kind of builds up the buzz until the patch notes, and then they drop. They've changed that because there has been feedback as far as just some days are better than others, and it feels like they're just drawing it out. Just give us all the information. So they've made that change. But also, I think it's something else. If you play Diablo 4, you know that Diablo 4 is currently in Season 4. Maybe you play Torchlight Infinite. You know that Clockwork Ballet is Season 5. Maybe you play Diablo 3 and you know that they are in Season 32. Well, EHG talked about it ad nauseum. Game launch is Cycle 1, right? Cycle 1. So you would think that Harbingers of Ruin would be Cycle 2, right? A nice round number, and you know that they are leaping from league to season to cycle, right? I think that makes sense. This is something that I've talked about a ton in my stream. Well, Cycle 2 is actually not marketed as Cycle 2. It is marketed as Cycle 1.1. And I'm telling you right now, you can disagree with me all you want. When a regular gamer sees update 1.1, you are going to think bug fix. You're going to think patch notes. You are not going to think major update. So if you're thinking, oh, patch 1.1 hit, oh, I wonder what bugs they fixed. Not, dude, this is Cycle 2. And Cycle 2 is going to come with a huge improvement to the game. So I do think this is something that they definitely, like, put out more. Put out as much as possible. And please rebrand it. I'm telling you, you will see a huge improvement on concurrent players. Okay, I've said my piece. And I've already talked to one of their marketers, Photon, about this.
This is an area where I think they could do better in and just get more players for their game. Here's something I never thought that I would say to any gaming company ever. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm about to lose 1,000 followers minimum from saying this. I actually think that Last Epoch should promote their cosmetics and their shop more than they do. And let me explain why. If I understand EHG correctly, hopefully I'm not putting words in their mouth, the $35 that you paid for Last Epoch pays for everything that they will ever make for the game. Everything. Expansions, new...
Correct. And the game was just on sale for $28. No future paid content ever. Expansions, DLCs, till the end of time. You never have to spend another cent.
Classes, new endgame systems, and a bigger campaign, anything. You have already paid for it. It's done. You get everything. So they need to make money to fund the development of their game. And I never hear anything from them. Maybe it's that I'm not paying attention. I never hear anything from them about their cosmetics at all. And these supporter packs are important for them to continue making a great game and for them to get money to get the finances that they need to keep blasting. Look at these really cool pets I have, by the way, from the cosmetic shop. So I actually think that they should find a way like PoE does, where they say, at least in their announcements, here are the new really awesome cosmetics, da-da-da-da-da. Put a lot of effort into them. We hope you like them. If you want to purchase them to help support our game, again, trying to help EHG here, I'm giving you my blessing as a content creator.
I agree and disagree a little bit. So, for example, if you play Torchlight Infinite, the second you log into the game, you get blasted with advertisements. You get little red dots. Go click on this and check out this, new cosmetic. You do not In my opinion, you do not want that. You don't want to get blasted with cosmetics. Now, that being said, they did not advertise the new supporter packs. I mean, legitimately, in the patch notes, it says there is 4 new supporter packs coming. There is not a singular image of them. There is not a singular in-game of them. There was nothing. 0. I even tried to get a hold of the images so that I could personally promote them. So I could, hey, there's new supporter packs coming. At least let me show you. And I was able to get 2 of the images because, of course, Mike showed them off on the Friday streams, so they were public. He is right that there should probably be a post showing all the supporter packs, showing what they look like in game, but please don't hit us with endless advertisements inside the game. My opinion.
Not that my opinion means anything, but I would not mind at all if you advertised your cosmetics a little bit more and got people to buy them so you can get some money to make a better game. Because if you're not going to charge us for anything more, if they don't buy these cosmetics, I don't know how you guys are going to eat at night. That's a problem. Can consider a battle pass. Again, it's optional. It's all cosmetics. You don't have to buy it.
Battle pass isn't coming.
Skill effects, people would probably buy those, and they don't work in offline. People might buy them if they work in offline. I would put that as a priority to fix that. Here's a contested idea. I'll put it in here because a lot of people want it. Enable the auto pickup for certain things. I've talked to EHG about it before. I don't think EHG wants to do this. And I get the idea. I've heard the arguments 1,000 times. I know the feel the weight arguments from Chris over at Grinding Gear Games. So there really isn't a moment where you don't just vacuum pick up the shards and then you hit the transfer materials button. I don't deny that hitting the transfer materials button does feel nice. You see it kind of go in there. It feels good to hit that button. You definitely don't have to make the player do that, though. You could just vacuum pick it up and you could just auto transfer it and be on our way. Some people are begging for it. Some people are kind of with Chris on this, of kind of the feel the weight, and think that would be bad for the game. If I'm being honest with you, I don't have a huge opinion here. If it were up to me, I'm about blasting. I understand the value of the affixes that I'm picking up as I pick them up, as I run over them. If they auto picked up and just went straight to my bank, that would not impact me as a gamer. Another option that they could do is make it a setting. Do you want vacuum pickup and auto transfer or not? And then people say, if you make it a setting, it's not really a setting, da 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 da. Well, yes, it is. Well, no, it's not, because everyone will just choose it to be more efficient. Well, yeah, the biggest blasters of the game and the racers will, but there's a lot of other people that aren't doing that it might actually be a choice for them and they might actually enjoy it. Anyway, the whole argument there doesn't really work anyway, because if everyone wouldn't pick that option, then wouldn't that mean that everyone wants it to auto pickup? No, Raxx, because I want to suffer and everyone else has to suffer with me. That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. Like I said, I'm just I
really like this video. Raxx, you did a really good job. I have over 3,500 hours at this point in last Epoch. If there is a singular question other than multiplayer win, it is shard auto pickup, gold picked up by pets, or shards auto transferring in. Why do I have to click on the shard, then click on the transfer button, right? Can they give me one? Give me where I can run over shards like gold and they automatically go into my inventory and then I click the transfer button, or I have to click on the shard and then instead of it going into my inventory, I don't have to hit the transfer button. That's normally what I hear over and over again. And if you're new to Last Epoch, you probably don't know this. For 5-6 years, the argument is, well, shards are designed that are supposed to feel like items. That, I'm telling you, that answer has been given 1,000 times. The initial idea is that a shard is an item. That's why it goes into your inventory. Now, my argument to that for years and years is, one, has anybody ever in the history of the game looked at a shard in your inventory? The answer is, of course not. They're in your inventory, you immediately hit the transfer button. And if it's an item, why is it not transferable, or why is it not tradable at the bazaar? Because obviously it's not an item.
I should stop talking. I'm just generating all this dialogue from memory. I've heard it 1,000 times. I think it's something that EHG should consider. I would like it if it's in the game. I'm not going to cry if they don't do it, but people ask me to put it in there. There it is. Then another obvious one, bring Last Epoch to consoles. See, I hate it when gaming companies design games with console and PC at the same time. I understand that that saves like money and development time. But for example, a lot of people are saying that Diablo 4 will never be a super godly game or as godly as it can be because it also has to work on the PS4. Like, okay, the PS5 at least is modern day technology, but the fact that your limiting reagent is the PS4 kind of dooms the game a little bit. But we've already made Last Epoch for PCs, so I think bringing it to consoles is just going to increase the player base and bring them more revenue, and everybody's going to be happy if they can have a good release of that. Anyway, I am not the god of Last Epoch by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know everything. So if you have any comments about stuff you really agreed with or things I'm totally wrong on, or very importantly, anything that I completely missed, feel free to throw it down in the comments. I'll send this video over to EHG if they care to watch it. I'll be honest with you, I would be surprised if any of this was mind-blowing to them. I'm pretty sure they know almost everything in here. That would be my guess, but I'm just trying to help. And one more thing before I let you guys go. One more question. Did you like this video? Did you like this video for Last Epoch? Would you like me to make it every cycle? Yes or no? Give me your honest feedback. I will read it. If you hate me, let me know in the comments. I'll read it. It's fine.
Raxx being newer to LE, I really enjoyed this video. And again, I will link it in the description. I will say, you know, it's really easy to blast through, oh, like I like all this stuff. And then, you know, so it's 5 minutes of what I like, and here's 20 minutes of what needs to be improved. I do feel like it makes, you know, it makes Last Epoch feel negative. Cycle 1.1 has been incredible. The new uniques, the new balance, the awesome quality of life improvements, everyone's favorite new Nemesis system, the new faction, the 10 new Harbingers, the new Pinnacle boss. I mean, it has been an incredible cycle. And I wish there was more players playing it, but we have already talked about that. I really enjoyed this video, and there is nothing in that feedback that has, I mean, not a singular thing, I don't think, in that feedback that has not been told to EHG at nauseum. They know all of that. And a lot of it is already in development. Consoles, they're a little behind on. They're working on is Steam Deck. Official Steam Deck support is coming. That will be the first thing. But no, I really enjoyed this video. Thank you, Raxx. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is there anything you totally disagreed with? Is there anything where you're like, no, that's far off? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know it was a super long video. I didn't realize that Raxx's video was 25 minutes. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.